Hi, fourth graders. Super excited that I get to teach you some math today. Miss you so much, and I just hope that your families are safe and can't wait to, even if it's not this year, that I get to see you guys next year and see all the changes that are going to happen. But let's get started on math. So today we're going to learn about fractions with like denominators. And as we know, the denominators are the bottom of the fraction. So what to keep in mind? If the whole or denominator is the same, no need to change. Only add the numerators, and can you find the or? Now, not every fraction question has an or to it. You can't always simplify it any more than already is simplified, but sometimes you get to challenge yourself and do that. And we'll see that a little bit later in the slides. But this one, as you notice, this pizza is cut into fifths. So the denominator is showing fifths. And then you'll notice that fifths goes all the way through this equation. So you have 2/5 here, another 2/5 slices of pizza here, and then when you add them together, you're only adding the numerator. And the numerator gives you 4/5. So you have 4/5 of pizza. Okay. Okay, so let's see if by reviewing what we just did, if we can figure out what the right steps are. So we have 2/6 plus 3/6. And if we remember back from what we need to do, if the denominator is the same, we don't need to change. And then we only add the numerators, and then we can simplify if we need to. So let's see what we do next. So we have 2/3, 2 plus 3 is 5 for the numerator, and then as we know, the denominator doesn't change. So it's 5/6. I just like writing it like this to help me keep in mind that the numerators are the only ones I add, and the whole stays the same. Okay, now let's look at it a little differently. We have 1 and 2/9 plus 2 and 3/9. This is a mixed fraction. That means I have a whole and I have parts of a whole. So I have a whole and I have a fraction. So the 1 here is a whole, and then the 2 is also a whole. So what I can do is I can add my wholes first. I know that 1 plus 2 is 3. And then now that I have that done, I can now take a look at my fractions. So I have 2/9 plus 3/9. And if I go back to what we learned before, what do I remember? If the whole is the same, it doesn't need to change. So I know this is going to stay ninths. And I know I only need to add the numerator. So I'm going to do, let's try that again. 2 plus 3 all over 9. And so I have ninths, right? And I want to make sure I put that addition sign there because I want to remind myself that that 3 is not a part of the numerator. That is the whole number. So my new fraction is 3, and 2 plus 3 is 5/9. So it's not that much of a difference, even though you have a mixed number, even though you have two whole numbers. You just add those together. So you add the ones that look alike. So I put my whole numbers together, and then I put my fractions together. And then I put it all together at the end, and I get 3 and 5/9. Now I can look at this, and I see I have 2 and 3/5 plus 1 and 3/5. Now I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to add the ones that look alike. So I'm going to add the whole numbers first. So I know that 2 plus 1 is, everybody say it with me, 3. So I'm going to put a 2 plus 1 equals 3. Then I'm going to look at my fractions, which are 3/5 and 3/5. So I'm going to write 3/5 down, and let's go with a dark red. So 3/5 plus 3/5. end. What do I keep in mind? The whole stays the same, and I only add the numerators. So I know that 3 plus 3 is 6, and I have 6/5. Now, is 6/5 bigger than a whole? Yeah. And so what I need to do here, this is the third one where I was like, what's the or? What do I need to do to simplify? So here's my or. So I have, but before I even do that, let's put this all together. So I have to keep in mind my whole, which is 3. And then I need to keep in mind, I need to put my 6/5 together with it. So as we challenge ourselves, we're going to look at the 6/5 and see like how many fifths can I take out of it. So if I subtract 5 from that 6, I can take 1 whole out of it. So another way I could write this is 3 plus 5/5, because I only can take out 1 whole. And then what do I have left over? 1/5. So this 5/5 becomes 1 whole. And so I can put this together. And now I have 4, because remember, this is 1 whole. And then I still have the 1/5, and I can't do anything with that. Now, if you wanted to just stay with the 3 6/5, you can, because this is still right. If you're wanting to try a little challenge, see how many fifths you can take out of it, or 7ths or 6ths, whatever that denominator is, and see if you can convert it or simplify it into another answer. So that you have 3 6/5 or 4 1/5. Okay, 4th graders, this is the end of your fractions with like denominators, and I look forward to seeing you guys on Tuesday after you've got to learn about all the different types of ways we use fractions and learn about them. And see you soon.